All right, let's dive into a pretty radical idea today. What if, and stick with me here, what if the best way to actually help the world is to stop trying so hard to fix it? It sounds completely backwards, I know, but it might just hold the key to making a real difference. You know the feeling, right? You're scrolling, you see some crisis unfolding on the news, and bam, that powerful urge hits you. The need to comment, to share your opinion, to do something. But what if that impulse, that very desire to help, is actually making things worse? And that brings us to our first big point, the huge problem with, well, meddling. This philosophy we're looking at makes a really bold claim about all our good intentions. Oof, that's a tough one to hear, isn't it? The core idea is that when you jump into things you don't really have control over, your energy doesn't just fizzle out. No, it can actually backfire, creating all these negative ripple effects while completely draining you in the process. So look, you've got two paths here. On one side, you have meddling. It's an energy suck, it doesn't fix the real problem, and it can even cause new ones. But on the other side, focusing on your own stuff. The whole argument is that this second path is how you really help, because so many of the world's problems today are supposedly caused by a whole lot of people not doing their own jobs properly. Okay, so if getting involved is the problem, what's the answer? Well, that leads us to what this school of thought calls your single most important job. It's almost disappointingly simple, right? The most powerful thing you can possibly do for the world, according to this, is to just crush it at whatever is right in front of you. Your work, your family, your own responsibilities. That is your kingdom, and that's where your energy actually creates real, lasting, positive change. And this is where it all clicks. It's about the power of everyone just handling their own business. Think about it like preventative medicine for society. If every single person is an expert at their own role, the whole foundation becomes so rock solid that these big crises we feel like we have to fix, they just don't have the shaky ground they need to grow in the first place. But you're probably thinking, okay, but what about all the crazy stuff I see on the news every day? I can't just ignore it. And this is where the whole idea gets really, really practical. It gives us a new way to look at these events, not as a call to action, but as a lesson. It's a framework called the 3 proximity warnings. See, the world doesn't just throw chaos at you for no reason. It gives you warnings. Think of it like a series of alarms, each one getting louder and closer to home. It's trying to get your attention, starting from way out there and moving right up to your front door. First up, you've got the media warning. This is that huge event you see on TV. It's a distant problem, like a memo sent out to the entire country. It's a topic for everyone to study. But here's the wild part. This philosophy says that if you are truly, deeply focused on your own work, you might be so in the zone you don't even notice the news. And you know what? That's totally okay. Okay, next, the lesson gets a lot closer. This is the nearby warning. Now you're not seeing it on a screen anymore. You're seeing it with your own eyes. A car crash on your street, a fight at the local store. This is a sign that that big general problem is now in your personal orbit. The risk to you is way higher, and it's a major signal to start paying very close attention. And finally, level 3. This is what happens when you hit the snooze button on those first 2 alarms. The problem isn't out there anymore. It's not even nearby. It's right here, in your life. The fire is in your house. The crisis is now deeply personal. It's the universe's last-stage, direct, and totally unavoidable demand that you finally learn the lesson. So what's the point of these warnings? The whole framework is designed to completely flip our perspective, to get us to stop being outside critics, judging the world's problems, and instead become inside students, learning the world's lessons. And the key word here is study. But you've got to throw out any ideas of textbooks or exams. This isn't academic. It's about looking at what's happening, whether it's on TV or on your street, and asking one simple, powerful question. What is the lesson in this for me? It's a massive shift from blaming the world to learning from it. This analogy about volunteer work it nails it. It's one thing to see an ad on TV asking for help. It's a whole other level to see your actual neighbor struggling. And it's most direct to go over there yourself. And this is the absolute kicker, if you just rush in to help without first figuring out the lesson for yourself, you're pretty much guaranteed to be the next person who needs help. Action without understanding is a trap. And honestly, this should feel like a huge weight off your shoulders. You don't have to be the world's general manager. You don't have to fix everything. The source material reminds us that for most of these huge problems, there are people, experts, leaders, officials, whose actual job it is to handle them.
The system is meant to work. Your job is to make your system work. So, that's the whole powerful shift in thinking, from trying to fix everything out there to trying to learn everything in here. The next time you see chaos unfolding, this philosophy challenges you to pause and ask yourself, am I just watching a drama that I'm supposed to judge, or am I being shown a lesson that I'm supposed to learn?